This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Tonight from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Beautiful evening for baseball. We're at PNC Park. It's game number 3. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. And welcome to the broadcast booth here at PNC Park. That's Brad Thompson. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Erica Weston is with us as well. Cardinals have won the first 2 games of this series, so they're assured to split. They'll try to win another series, either tonight or tomorrow, maybe even go for a sweep. We've said it a lot. If the Cardinals are going to postseason play, if they're going to get a string of wins, Paul Goldschmidt has to step up big time. Well, he's doing that right now.
He certainly is. Number 46 is the key to this offense, and we're seeing some great things here recently. A grand slam in game 1 to break this thing open. The 2-run home run last night and doing big-time damage against the Pirates this year.
Look at that. The 4 home runs in 11 games, but he's driven in 15 against Pittsburgh. He is in the lineup tonight. The Cardinals have Adam Wainwright on the mound for St. Louis. And when you think about the Cardinals as well winning games, it's not just Goldschmidt timely hitting, but in this series in particular, very good defense.
Yeah, and this season, I mean, that has been one of the trends for the Cardinals. They play great defense, and that has been something in this series. Jose Martinez guns down Newman at the plate. Been saying it all year, Dan. He is, all he does is make great throws from the outfield. That's what we say, right?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about that. It's got to be his arm is why he is in there. And speaking of arms, not a bad play.
Pretty good play right there, ranging a long way. Tommy Edman does. Colton Wong doing what Colton Wong does. Makes this look easy. That play is tough. Colton Wong, one of the best in the game.
Should be a lot of fun here tonight. The Cardinals playing some winning baseball. 6 games above the 500 mark. Waino against Jordan Lyles. Cards and Bucks coming up tonight. Cardinals baseball. And it's brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. With Erica Weston, Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Game 3 of this 4-game series here at PNC Park. Another tight one last night. We'll see what happens in Game 3. It's 74 degrees. It is perfect. Late July. And the Cardinals, by virtue of a Cubs win today, they start play tonight just a half game back, or rather a full game back now in the Central Division. But Mike Schilt and the club, they're playing very well on the road. Only 2 games below 500 and overall 6 games above 500.
Right in the thick of things right now are the St. Louis Cardinals. And I think it's safe to say still not everything has clicked for this ball club yet, but they're figuring out ways to win games.
Cardinal lineup, Tommy Edman at the top, and then Dexter Fowler. So a couple of switch hitters, 1 and 2. Jose Martinez had the game-winning home run last night. Goldschmidt also homered. It was the grand slam in game 1, 2-run shot to tie the game last night. Paul DeJong starting to pick it up, and so is Colton Wong. Another start for Jairo Munoz. He's in left field. And it seems like Andrew Kisner and Adam Wainwright, they're on the same page, so they'll get the start again tonight.
Little comfort in those two. That battery, it's a good one. Jordan Lyles going to be on the mound on the flip side today. Jordan's been around for quite some time. Kind of mixed up his arsenal, the Hyundai pitch arsenal here for Jordan Lyles. Fastball, curveball, cutter, change. And that curveball is something that he started utilizing a lot more last year. Also started mixing in more of the four seam. It's made him more effective, more swing and miss.
Could be, you don't know, but it could be his final start as a Pirate tonight. He was picked up during the offseason, got off to a fabulous start, and then an injury hit, and he hit a rut. Former top pick that actually was traded away by Houston to Colorado for one Dexter Fowler way back when. 2-0 the count on Tommy Edman. Another start for him, and he's at third base tonight. Swinging on 2-0. It's popped up. Moran giving chase along with Diaz, and it's out of play.
Tommy Edman has come up in some big spots and done some very good things. Saw him flashing the leather last night. Heck of a play, ranging into foul territory. Strong throw across the diamond. Everywhere that Mike Schilt has put him, he's done something special.
He's also had, in the month of July, 4 game-winning runs batted in, and that's the most in baseball. And a reason why the Cardinals are in the hunt. As Edman pulls it foul. Matt Carpenter began a rehab assignment at Memphis last night and looks to rejoin the Cardinals on Friday, with Houston coming to St. Louis. Jordan Lyles really has struggled in first innings. His ERA is near 7 in his starts. As Edman hits it out of play. So get to him early.
That's it. And those are the type of pitches right there. I mean, that he misses their center cut. Tommy Edman fouled it off. Now, Tommy can take some tough ABs. Showed that off a little bit last night, fouling a bunch off, making pitchers work. You're only going to get so many to hit.
And the 2-2 popped up again. This one looks to be playable. Diaz calling for it in foul territory, and that's the first out. 6-pitch at bat by Tommy Edman. Around the Horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Dickerson, Marte, and Melky Cabrera, the veteran, getting the start in right. And they'll put the switch hitter that's been fabulous so far, Brian Reynolds, on the bench. Moran, Newman, Frazier, Bell on the infield. Diaz behind the plate. Here's Dexter Fowler. And the pitch that hit the back foot and toe the other night. Did not play last night. Had to stay in that game, though. Cardinals were running out of position players.
Yeah, they were done after that one. Kisner ended up going to pinch runner over at third base. Had nobody left but pitchers. And in talking to Dexter, he's a little bit tired of getting hit by the Pirates.
I bet. Shift on the right side, and nothing into the count. Newman, Frazier, and Bell on the right side of the infield. Inside corner and a strikeout looking.
The tight, late breaking curveball. See it just snap off the table right there at the end. Dexter certainly not looking for that one. Thought it might have been a little bit in, but good pitch there by Jordan Lyles.
It is 74 degrees here at PNC Park. The month of July seems to be the time when Jose Martinez gets hot again. He's got 5 home runs this month. Last July he had 8. And it was a big one last night.
A couple of really good at-bats last night also. He had the one where he had 2 strikes. It was an off-speed pitch, and he just was able to serve it right back up the middle. Then the home run, let it travel. It went to a big part of the ballpark in right center. Shows off a lot of opposite field power.
Plate coverage, too, with that.
Yes, big time. And that's the thing with him. He's got the big leg kick. By no means quiet in the box, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a position where he can get where he can't cover.
I thought for a while he was really off the plate, and this one reaching across the plate. It was a breaking pitch. He drove it to right center and let everybody know about it. He's a little happy. Now he's one of the guys I'd like to throw a headset on after hitting a home run. That would be fun.
I think it'd be a
game.
great time.
Yeah. Let's grow the game. Throw a headset on Jose after he does something well.
Work on that. Let's get that going. I think that he'd be in for it.
I know he would be in for it. I don't think, I know. Fun guy to be around. 2-2 pitch. And a strikeout for Lyles. So one looking, that was followed. That one to Martinez swinging. Cardinals go in order. Adam Wainwright, he has struggled on the road and looking to change that here in game 3. And Brad, for whatever reason, the struggles have been away from Busch Stadium.
Yeah, they certainly have. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Adam Wainwright. Fastball, lots of curveballs, slider, and every once in a while the changeup. And you're right. I mean, something that he is trying to figure out as we go. Going to have to start tonight. The Cardinals have been winning baseball games, but this rotation going forward, that's going to be the key.
I would think also a key tonight is pitching better, obviously on the road. There you see the high ERA, the 1-5 record, but just like with Dakota Hudson in game 2, you would love to see a little length out of your starter tonight. That is a bullpen that's been pitching a whole bunch.
So we've talked about this quite a bit, and Adam Wainwright is one of the biggest proponents of this, is that inner rotation competition that they have. All right, well, you gave me 6 1/3. Who's got 7? Who's got 8? Who's got 9? And keep building off of that. It's been a rough little patch here for the rotation, but you know there's a lot more in the tank, and getting deeper and deeper in the ball game is going to save that bullpen.
And the curveball taken low and in the dirt by Adam Frazier. The Pirates come in as a team batting .268. That's best in the National League. Frazier overall at .279. And the 2-2 pitch. He still has that curveball, and it's not only does he have it with a sharp break, but he can pitch that and throw that at any time that he wants in the count, and to righties and lefties, and spot it, and varies the speeds of it. It's fun to watch.
It really is. He gets back into counts with it really well too. So if he falls behind, it's not dead red fastball. He paints that thing.
And there it is again, and hit out of play. You know it's working when a guy has a fastball this day and age around 89, which is the average velocity of his fastball. And then you take a look at the strikeouts and all the called third strikes, with batters maybe looking for something else. He's had a lot of those this year.
I think a lot of that certainly is the breaking ball, just how good it is, how tight it is, how he throws it out of the same window that he throws the fastball. But it's also the cadence of how he's setting hitters up.
Pitch number 8 of the at bat, and it's just a bit high as Wainwright was walking off the mound, and he thought that was a called third strike. Kia given everything. Speaking of the fastball, lowest average against fastballs away, and Wainwright 113, and that tells you he's got command of that pitch.
Yeah, and is setting the guys up again, and he can tail it back with the sinker against lefties. I mean, he's got such good feel for it.
Now Corey Dickerson, he is 7 for his last 15. There's that fastball away. I would say this, that 3-2 pitch that was called a ball, Adam Wainwright needs that pitch, needs it to be successful tonight.
Yeah, it's close. We have seen in the last couple of games, certainly the first one, the strike zone bounced around a little bit. You do adjust to it, but one that he'd love to get at the top of the zone.
Dickerson batting .301, just 2 home runs, has driven in 19, and Waino, he's not happy right now. I mean, this is a guy that you know quite well. You played with him in the minor leagues and traveled with him, and teammates there, and then teammates in the big leagues.
I also know this, while he might not be happy about walking the leadoff batter, he's a bulldog. He's going to dig right in and not going to let that affect the way that he goes after this inning.
And the 2-0 pitch missed outside, and it's 3-0.
Now, I'd say more so than the one above the zone. That's the pitch that you need. Now, you see it on the K zone there, just a little bit off the plate, but a pitch that oftentimes Adam Wainwright gets. It's a really nice pitch.
Home plate umpires are crew chief tonight, Alfonso Marquez. Chad Fairchild at first, Mike Estabrook at second, Bruce Dreckman at third. 3-1 the count. And Kisner's kind of in a tough spot, doesn't have a lot of time in the major leagues, and what kind of conversation can he have with the home plate umpire? Just something to think about. You know your catcher is going to be working for his pitcher. I mean, even when he's at the plate and a call goes against him when he's hitting, but what kind of conversation and dialogue can he have with that man right there?
That's a great point, because we did see exactly what you're talking about last night with Matt Wieters.
Exactly.
Wieters struck out on a pitch down down low, and you could tell he was saying, hey, my guy better get that. That's big league pitching right there. So he falls behind 3-0. It's a cutter to get him back into it. Then it's the big breaking ball to make it 3-2. That's what's made Adam Wainwright as successful as he has been recently, is the ability to do stuff like that. Now you got to finish him off.
Dickerson has grounded into 3 double plays this year. See if they want to start Frazier. He's got 3 stolen bases this year. Long look by Wainwright. Late jump. Doesn't matter. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks. To his credit, Dakota Hudson was able to pitch out of trouble last night. It was bases loaded, nobody out, and he got Bell, and then he got a double play, and that really was your game.
It was. It was. And to his credit, again, his game didn't start out exactly as planned. It looked a lot like this. It was nobody out. It was 2 on. It was Marte up, and Marte hit a 3-run bomb. Let's stay away from that one here. But he bared down, gave you 6 1/3, gave you a chance.
He's 4 for 8 with a 3-run homer that was hit last night in the first inning in this series. The Pirates line up with Frazier, Dickerson, now Marte. Switch hitting Bell was driven in 86. Then Melky Cabrera, Colin Moran, Kevin Newman, Elias Diaz, and Jordan Lyles, the pitcher. Runners at first and second, a pickoff, and back in Sinkley is Frazier. The best innings for the Pirates, by the way, against St. Louis in the games that they've been head-to-head, it's been the first innings. Dakota Hudson last night. They got to Wainwright one time earlier this year, and that was that very cold afternoon, the home opener here in Pittsburgh. That's up the middle, and Wong can't get there. Into center. Run will score. That's Frazier, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh.
First inning strikes again here. This one just that slider on the outer half. Marte does a good job of just staying with it. Shoots it right back up the box. Doesn't pull off of it. And now the Cardinals need a ground ball right here.
Now Josh Bell looked better last night than he has in a while. Hit the ball hard. Pirates came in batting .272. Runners in scoring position, and now 7 for 18. In that spot here in the series. Bell 6 for his last 43. Just 3 hits during this homestand against the Phillies and Cardinals. This being the better side, if you will. The switch hitter, Bubba 300 average. 20 of his 27 home runs have been from this side of the plate.
He looked pretty balanced the other day. Had a couple of loud outs, even on the right side. You don't want this guy getting right against you.
You mentioned it time and again in this series. If the Pirates are going to make a run, it really is going to be dependent on what he does.
Well, that was the difference in the first half. Guys got on, he drove them in. Now there are other variables. Certainly the pitching hasn't stood up exactly like they wanted it for the Pirates, but that's the key right there. Number 55, the guy, when you walk around downtown, you see his jersey everywhere.
A single by Marte, and he's driven in 57 now this year. Toyota key to the game with Brad Thompson.
Now the key to the game today for Adam Wainwright is mix it up. Now you could easily say, oh yeah, certainly that's what pitchers do, but I'm not necessarily talking about his arsenal. It's what we talked about off the top of the broadcast, is those home road splits. It's time to flip those things. Hasn't got off to the greatest start. Plenty of time to get it fixed, but time to mix it up.
That's out of play.
We've had 3 starts in a row, Dan, where the starting pitcher for the Cardinals has thrown a ton of pitches in the first inning. It was Daniel Ponce de Leon in the first one, who only lasted 3. Dakota Hudson, as we mentioned before, threw a lot of pitches in the first inning. 28, I believe it was yesterday. Adam Wainwright already at 20 now without getting an out.
Swing and a miss. Really took something off that pitch at 77 miles an hour, and that's the first out recorded by Wainwright. Now you get that ground ball off the bat of Cabrera and get out of this inning and regroup.
Josh Bell sees that curveball up in the zone, and by the time he realizes it's about to be in the dirt, he's already committed. It's way too late. It's a really nice pitch, and you're right. Now it's time to get right back to work.
Cabrera, this side of the plate this year, .324 the average. Primarily has been coming off the bench for Clint Hurdle. That's the pitch right there, just off the plate to a left-handed batter. Hudson had his issues with lefties. Wainwright has had that this year. And the 1-0 pitch, 2-0. Cabrera swing and a miss again. That one at 74.
It's huge to be able to have that in your back pocket. You don't want to fall in the hole, all right? You don't want to be too low. You don't want to be starting ABs like that. But when you've got Uncle Charlie that you know you could throw in there basically at will, Cabrera's not looking to drive a curveball. I mean, he's looking for dead red heater in that situation. Adam Wainwright's not going to give it to you.
Now Adam has been around a long time. Melky Cabrera was signed by the Yankees, international free agent in 2001.
Jeez.
It's a long time playing pro ball. Signed with the Pirates in February. This is the 8th team he's played for in the major leagues. His mom's a nurse and said you need to be an engineer or a doctor, but I guess she didn't see his swing. Guy can hit.
Pretty good fallback plan.
I would say so, and that just missed again, and that's 3 walks here in the first inning, and they're all loaded up. And a long first inning. That's been the case in games 1 and 2, and now 3. Cardinals defensively around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Munoz in left, Fowler in center, Martinez in right. Edmund, DeJong, Wong, and Goldschmidt on the infield. Kisner behind the plate. Well, we've seen Adam Wainwright an awful lot and for a long time, and he does not show up and umpire very often, and not to say that he's doing that here at all, but he is not happy with this strike zone.
But a couple of longer glares at the very least than we're used to.
Yes.
Adam, though, I mean, as well as anybody in the league who's been doing this so long knows, you're not going to be able to get any of those pitches back. While you might be able to, you know, politic a little bit for some corners, or whether it up, down, wherever you want it to be, you got to take care of business right here, right now.
Bases loaded, and the 0-1. Colin Moran at the plate. Former 6th overall pick in 2013. And that was by the Marlins. Then traded by Miami to the Astros. It sent pitcher Jared Cozart to Miami. And he hits it out to right. Martinez will make the catch. 2 runners will tag up. 1 will score, and it's 2-0 Pittsburgh on the sac fly by Moran. So 2 of the 3 walks have come around to score, and it brings in the shortstop, Kevin Newman. Well, this is what we're talking about. Game 1, Daniel Ponce de Leon with 34 first inning pitches. Then last night it was Hudson with 28, and tonight Wainwright with 29.
Well, and a little bit unlike Dakota Hudson, who, I mean, he got efficient quickly last night. That's not really Adam Wainwright's arsenal. He doesn't pound the bottom of the zone, get a ton of ground balls early. He mixes up a lot.
Martinez going back and will make the catch on the track as Newman gave it a ride. So the Pirates strike first in this one. It's 2-0 as we head to the second. Ford National League Championship Anniversary Weekend presented by Heartland Coca-Cola. We've got the replica jersey giveaway courtesy of Cooper Tires, and that'll be this weekend. Friday night, here's Paul Goldschmidt, takes a ball. We had a shot of Adam Wainwright during the commercial break talking with Kisner and others, and clearly not happy about the strike zone.
Yeah, just to say, hey, where are those at? Appeared that Kisner said, man, they're right there, they're close. And going forward, you know, Adam Wainwright is a guy that works the corners, and at some point generally you find out where the zone is, and you're going to get one side or the other. Really hasn't got either one yet.
Goldschmidt, a couple of home runs in the series, now 6 in July, and he's driven in 14. That's second most in the month of July. Out in front of that pitch, and it's 2-2. On the ground is short, gloved by Newman, and he bobbled it, and Goldschmidt is aboard. Kevin Newman, the shortstop, with his 6th error of the year.
Well, sometimes you got to catch a break to get something going here. A pretty good break right here. Very, I mean, routine play. Just catches him in the heel, can't make the transfer, and doesn't matter how you get on. The fact that you're there, let's go.
And now it's Paul DeJong. DeJong hitting .250 with 15 home runs, and he's driven in 44. The last 6 games, DeJong with 5 extra base hits.
Even the outs recently for Paul DeJong have been louder ones, getting a lot of barrel to the ball. That's the guy that we saw early on that had that monster April.
Inside corner.
It's the same pitch Adam got balled on. Now it was a left-handed batter. This one in off the plate, same pitch.
How often do starters then go back and talk to Chad Blair, who is the video coach or coordinator of the Cardinals, and says, roll it back and let's take a look at some of these pitches?
Yeah, a lot of times you don't want to do it during the game. You don't want to get upset about it, but you will sometimes. I mean, if you are planning on talking to the umpire anyhow, and it's going to be a civil conversation, you're not just going to go out there and let them have it. You want to know for sure that you're in the right at the very least. So those conversations could definitely happen, and Chad Blair is all over it.
2-1 pitch. And DeJong sends one out to deep left. Dickerson back near the wall. It is gone. It's a home run, and we're tied at 2. DeJong with home run number 16, and one swing of the bat. We're tied.
Well, again, it doesn't necessarily matter how you get on to get something started. Just get on. Get something started. That's what the error did with Goldschmidt. And then you have this one right here, a slider down and away. Not a terrible pitch. He goes down and gets it. 2-2 ball game. That was huge right there.
Great effort by Dickerson, but just over his outstretched glove. DeJong with home run number 16, and now Colton Wong. When they built this ballpark, one of the ideas was in left field to keep the wall short so that you could have those home run saving catches to add to the excitement here. And that's what they have in left, and in right field. That wall is 21 feet high to honor number 21, Roberto Clemente.
I love the outfield here. It certainly has a ton of character, certainly something you better get used to.
Popped up, and this may drop as well. It will. Wong hustling out of the box, thinking 2. On his way to second. It's a double. An error, 2-run homer, and a bloop double for Colton Wong.
Right out of the box. That is exactly what Colton Wong is thinking. The ball gets in on him, it jams him. He's strong enough to just get it out there, but he's running hard. Just keep it rolling, keep piling on. Jordan Lyles, his last start was a decent one. Ended up going 5 2/3, only gave up 1 earned run. The 2 previous gave up 7 apiece against the Cubs. Let's get one of those. Hang one of those on Jordan Lyles.
Wong has reached base safely in his last 13 games, 2 shy of his career high. Here's Jairo Munoz. And he's reached base safely in all 11 games that he's played in against the Pirates. Now a 6-game hitting streak after that double. Here's Munoz, who's in left field tonight. Another start for Munoz, and it's no coincidence, partner. You look at Munoz and Edman, some of the others that have provided a spark for this team.
They have, and it's all about a chance. These guys want to be in the lineup every day. Everybody does. But with the injuries, they've been provided opportunities, and what they've done with it is hit and field and run. I mean, do all the little things that you need as a ball club, and they've provided that spark. This offense still, I mean, at this point, looking to get on that big roll that we saw early on, but these guys have provided a big spark.
1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out here in the top of the 2nd inning. Pirates struck first with 2 in the bottom of the 1st, and the Cardinals have come back on DeJong's 16th home run of the year. Hit the other way, and a fair ball inside that first base line. Munoz to second. Wong will score, and the Cardinals have the lead. It's now 3-2. A home run, 2-run shot, back-to-back doubles, and a lead.
Oh, I like trading places, and the Cardinals able to do it here after Wong doubles on the blue down the left field line. This is a fastball up and away, and Munoz shoots it right down the right field line. Hey, Adam Wainwright struggled in the 1st inning. They battled back, gave him the lead. He's got a whole new game. Still nobody out. Momentum.
Like it.
I just love what I've seen out of this team recently. When they get punched, they punch back. That's what good teams do.
Here's what you're talking about, the last 3.
Oh, let's do more of those lost to Cubs type lines. 7 apiece. That 2/3 one, I've been there. That hurts.
We'll see the Chicago Cubs in the upcoming homestand. Here's Kisner. That's a drive. And that, folks, is a home run, his first in the big leagues. Andrew Kisner, his first in the major leagues, a 2-run homer. And the Cardinals add on. It's now 5-2. Oh, yeah, the silent treatment. Now give the high five. Come on now. Come on now. Hey! I'm waiting. There it is. Some hugs, high fives, first ever big league home run, and a moment he'll never forget.
No kidding. That is a smile right there, ear to ear. What a special moment here for Andrew Kisner. He's probably thinking as he walks in, man, that's all you get when you hit your first big league homer? That's all the love I get? He gets plenty of it, gets a fastball middle in, and he knows right off the bat, walks it a little bit, and a little bat flip and go like he's been doing it for years.
An 8-pitch span for Lyles and 4 hits against him. 2 home runs, both 2-run shots, and a pair of doubles. And the Cardinals now a 5-2 lead.
Smelling a little blood in the water. Figure at this point, if he's on the ropes, they want to keep him there. Anything that's hittable, taking big swings.
If you're the Pirates, you're thinking, uh-oh, here we go again. It has been a very rough stretch since the break. Extra inning loss in Sunday's game. Then you had the dramatic win by the Cardinals game 1. It was a 1-run game last night where the bullpen retired the final 10+ in a row. And now you jump out to a 2-0 lead. Then you look up, boom, it's 5-2. You're down.
Yeah, no, it does snowball on you, and your emotions coming into the break were a lot different than the ones they have now. This is a team that was, you know, there fighting. We know top to bottom that this division was close.
A conversation there with Wainwright and Alfonso Marquez during the at-bat, and I'm sure about the strike zone. Now that's civil. You can ask as a pitcher, hey, what am I, where am I missing? What am I doing wrong here?
Yeah, no, Adam's been doing this a long time, and he's incredibly respectful. He knows all the umpires. There's different ways to do it. You can joke around with him. You can ask him where he thinks it's at. The old, man, I'm going to need that one. Help an old guy out, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's still the human element there. Relationships are important.
I'm going to tell Adam that you called him old.
I didn't say that.
You said help the old guy out here. Yeah, Tom Meade just confirmed that, and so did Bill Cochran, our producer.
I don't think so.
You're in trouble.
It's relatively old, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we're the same age.
Right. Apparently Erica heard it too, and many millions of people watching across the Midwest and probably around the world.
Well, people hear what they want to hear, Dan.
Yep. Here's Tommy Edman, top of the lineup. Got you in trouble.
Just help a strapping young lad out is all he said.
There you go. And a walk to Edman. And Tommy Edman with the 1-out walk, just his 4th in 94 at bats. Something to keep an eye on as he moves forward in his career. Brings in Dexter Fowler.
That certainly will be a thing for Tommy Edman. When you have the wheels that he has, you got to figure out other ways to get on. And look, being a switch hitter, he can hit for average. He can do a lot of good things, but drawing the walks is going to be that next level.
And the fact that you're in a leadoff position too, table setter. That's hit the other way, and a fair ball off the bat of Dexter Fowler. Hits the sidewall. Edman racing in to third. All the way to the plate. He scores. Tommy Edman was flying around the bases. And it's 6-2 Cardinals. You talk about speed. That young man, wow, he was flying.
Showing it off right there. Dexter Fowler just shoots this one right down the line. I've seen 2 of them so far this inning. Munoz down the first base line. Now Tommy Edman's off to the races. Tommy's doing his thing, showing off that foot speed.
Initially, Pop Warner wasn't going to send him, and then he did. He saw how the left fielder Dickerson came in after the ball, and Dexter Fowler thankfully picks up a run batted in his 34th.
Dickerson came in very off balance on the throw, tried to make one on the run like he was a shortstop. Not going to cut it there with Tommy Edman running the way he does.
Man, they've got to think about getting somebody up in their pen. And that's hit into right, and a base hit by Jose Martinez. Fowler being waved in. Throw to the plate. He is out at the plate, and a strong throw by Cabrera.
Good long hop right here by Cabrera. Dexter coming in, tries to sneak around, get the hand in. Definitely looks like they got him right there in the back. I like the idea of pushing it, though, at this point in the inning. The Cardinals are piling on. You're trying to get more and more. I don't mind that.
Inning started with Paul Goldschmidt reaching on an error by Kevin Newman. So the Cardinals bat around here in the top of the second. Runner at first is Martinez, and here's Goldie. Reached on an error, then DeJong tied it up with a homer. Whew, what a cut there. You just see that Lyles just he's not fooling anybody.
Throw that one again. Throw that one again really quick.
It's Luis Escobar throwing in the bullpen for the Pirates, a right-hander. And Goldschmidt hits it out of play in the hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stratton was the right-hander that had 9 up and 9 down, really to save the pen last night for the Pirates as it pertains to this ball game tonight.
Got to have that guy sometimes to bridge the gap. The night previous, the Pirates had used 6 relievers. It's like the Cardinals had to unleash their bullpen also.
The 1-2 pitch. Goldschmidt hits it a ton. Out to left. Oh my! 2-run homer, Goldschmidt. Number 21 on the year. 7 hits in the inning. 6 have gone for extra bases. And the Cardinals have hit their 3rd 2-run homer here in the 2nd and are piling this baby on early on.
Goldie is heating up. Man, this one, it's a center cut heater, and he does not miss it. This thing, you knew it right off the bat that this was going to be out of here. 8 runs in this ball game. That's how this offense should be. It's relentless. You never feel like as a pitcher you get room to breathe. We're starting to see some of that right now.
Long way to go, but some excitement early on. It's 8-2 Cardinals here in the top of the 2nd. This monster inning for the Cardinals. 7 hits, 6 have gone for extra bases, 3 2-run homers. All adds up to an 8-2 Cardinal lead. And now Lyles is out after an inning and 2/3. Escobar is in, and it could be a long night for the Pirates in their pen.
That escalated quickly.
Woo.
And it's been fun. Let's not stop, though. Let's just keep going.
Keep it going. Here's Paul DeJong, a 2-run homer this inning. And that pitch taken inside. So an inning and 2/3, 8 runs on 7 hits, 3 strikeouts, a walk, 3 2-run homers allowed by Lyles. And DeJong hits it down the left field line. And that is just foul. Looking for his 2nd home run in the inning. This is the 5th time, by the way, that Goldschmidt is homered in 3 consecutive games. And he's heating it up.
Seeing him heat up, seeing Paul DeJong heat up.
Yes. Inside. 2-1.
Cardinals doing a little bit of everything too. The 7 hits so far, the home runs obviously, but 3 pulled, 4 opposite field, using the whole field. Hit the ball where it's pitched.
Cardinals on this trip had a 10-run inning against Cincinnati, and this one is added up to 8. So their 2 biggest innings of the year have been on this road trip. They came back 7-0, the deficit against the Reds, and then tonight it was 2-0 Pirates. Two. And DeJong out in front, lifts it out to shallow left. Dickerson over, and that drops in. DeJong racing to second base. In there, standing up, and everything going the Cardinals' way.
Yes, it is. He had to go a long way out there and left it Dickerson to try to get close to this thing, but it looks like he was closing on it and just decided to let it fall as opposed to diving and potentially missing and give it up 3. It would have been a tough play. That was a long way to go. Just a well-placed baseball.
That's 7 extra base hits in the inning. Last time that happened in a single inning, July 21st of 12 against Chicago. Here's Colton Wong. He had that bloop into left, turned that into a double, and a fastball taken low. Boy, they're having some fun right now. It's 8-2 Cardinals.
This might be one of those games where everybody gets involved. You know, Colton Wong maybe get a fastball, middle in, Nice and easy over the fence.
You're getting greedy, huh?
A little bit.
That's all right.
Getting excited. I love seeing this offensive output. The fun part is, and not that you expect to put up an 8 spot every inning, but it's the type of pressure you expect this offense to put up. I mean, they should be dangerous like this.
And Wong hits it out to deep right. That is off the wall. The 8th extra base hit in the inning. 9 hits in the inning. 9 runs in the inning. And a 9-2 St. Louis lead. The second double in the inning for Colton Wong.
Colton doing it 2 different ways. The first one was a bloop down the left field line. This one's a rocket to the wall in right field. Great balance swing right here. Keep pouring it on. There is a fight at the bat rack right now. Everybody wants in on this. And I'm having flashbacks towards my career. And it's not the hitting part of it.
You okay? How's the neck?
I don't know. I'm remembering the 11 runs I gave up in 1 inning.
Not going to talk about that.
Okay, good.
Here's Munoz, and he pulls it foul. I mean, guys are going up there right now, comfortable, aggressive, ready. Lyles didn't back anybody off the plate, and certainly Escobar isn't doing that here.
You see something in the zone, and you're letting it go. And that is an adjustment, certainly as a pitching staff, that you like to make. And either side, you always talk about that. When guys are too comfortable, want to make sure you can establish on the inner half. Now the hope is, Dan, this doesn't end up being a 1-run ball game.
No, we don't want to see that.
I've seen every single one of these thus far.
Yeah. Here's the 0-2. And a swing and a miss, a strikeout of Munoz, but what an inning for the Cardinals. 9 hits, 8 extra base hits, and mixed in there. The silent treatment and a Kisner blast, his first in the bigs.
The second inning for the Cardinals, they lead the Pirates 9-2. Colton Wong with 2 doubles in that inning, heating up the month of July. He's the 4th highest batting average in the National League since July 5th. I talked to him before the game today. He said he's always considered himself a second half player, just being here, playing every day, playing with a purpose. That always gives you that extra edge. I talked to him about his splits. He's actually hitting better against lefties than righties this season. He said that's a trend I wanted to continue over the past couple of years. Now it's becoming full circle. I'm having more success, but he joked, I think I need to go back and have more time with those right-handers. But I asked him about those defensive gems he seems to turn on a nightly basis. He says he takes a peek at them a time or two, but he said it's cool to see people post that, give him the respect he's been working so hard to get. Dan.
Fun to watch. Great defensive players we've seen. Made a tremendous play yesterday coming in on a slow roller. And now it's a lead of how things change quickly. 9-2 for Adam Wainwright.
Waino's got a new life right now, and I know that he was frustrated in the first inning, certainly with the strike zone and some execution, but look, here you go right back to it, and the expectation is that Adam's going to get you deep into this ball game.
How does it change what he does on the mound? Because now you get the 7-run lead, and to me, when you get big leads and you can keep the opposition off the board, number one, but I think it's imperative for a starter to give you innings in those kind of games.
It is for sure. And when it comes to attacking, you want to make sure you're pumping strikes. I mean, that's always a thing, especially when you have yourself a little bit of a cushion. But it's not like you're laying stuff in there for them to hit. It's like, you know, here it comes, hit it. But you'd like to be a little bit more efficient if you can. Saws him off right here. Nice fastball in.
So Diaz grounds out. Now we'll see Escobar, the reliever, come in, followed by Frazier, the first out here in the bottom of the second. Nine hits, 8 go for extra bases, and 3 home runs hit in the inning. And the Cardinals have a 7-run lead. So 1 out and nobody on. And that pitch is strike.
You know, the air, not that Lyles was, oh, wow. How about that? The hands there on the left side by Tommy Edman. That is a big league play, and I know there's some folks saying, what's the big deal? Well, major leaguers make this look easy. That's a major league player down there at third. Whoop. Nice.
That is a tough hop right there that he's able to short pick right there. And you're right. That is a big time difference of guys at this level. It looks easy, but they make it look that way. He's been so solid over there at third base, been solid at second, wherever they put him.
Well, I can tell you where I'm putting him in the lineup. 2 outs and nobody on. He's also been at the leadoff position. He's now scored 7 times in 9 games that he's been a leadoff man. So think about his speed scoring on that play that was hit to left from first base.
That's huge. It is, and it's a weapon. I don't think that there's necessarily like one way that you have to have your leadoff man. Like we've seen Matt Carpenter do it for a long time for the Cardinals. Doesn't necessarily have that blazing speed, but when you have you know, other options, certainly with Matt Carpenter on the shelf, and he'll be back soon. Tommy Edman has sparked something and utilized that speed. More of a kind of a prototypical leadoff hitter, minus the walks as we talked about before.
Well, Mike Schilt and the Cardinals going to have some tough decisions to make. You've got veterans coming back, and yet with them out, you're winning games. And you're getting to the point you got to put the guys that are getting you in this spot and let them play potentially. But always, as we say, those things have a way of figuring itself out.
They do, and as a manager, those are the kind of decisions you want to have. And you have to make. I want tough decisions. I don't want to just be begging for somebody to come back off of the IL because we're treading water. No, I mean, you want guys to make the decision tough on you, and as a young player, that's all you can do.
2-2 the count on Frazier. Walked in an 8-pitch at bat back in the first inning. A little bit high. It's got to be some sleepless nights right now when you're close, and they were at the break, and you're excited to come back. And then all of a sudden your team comes out and doesn't play to the level that you saw. It's frustration, I'm sure.
It is, and at this point for the Pirates, well, I guess anything is possible. You don't look at this year, at least wouldn't think, as a playoff year, right? So the key is for them, they got a lot of young players. How do those young players get better and better?
Edman can't come up with this one, still tries and throws it away, and that's a rookie mistake there. That's a rare mistake by Tommy Edman. That'll be an error, his first in the big leagues.
Well, the first part of the play was going to be a tough one anyhow, as he has to go down and try to get it. But you're absolutely right. That's one. Sometimes once the first part of the play isn't made, you shouldn't try the second one. Compounding mistakes is something you want to stay away from. It'll be a tough play if he ends up getting to this one, but you just eat it at that point.
So both teams have committed an error tonight. And Corey Dickerson walked and scored back in the first inning. Dickerson waiting to make sure everybody can watch him put on his batting gloves before getting in the box.
I was entertained. I had no idea you do that one finger at a time. Good technique.
Very slowly. He might hear from Major League Baseball on something like that.
I kind of wish that we heard more about stuff like that.
Well, you know, you put it
a little better
this way. I think maybe your point is to draw attention to it, maybe to where the player then doesn't want that unneeded attention. I mean, to fine a guy a couple of $100 for a delay or getting in the box or throwing his helmet or whatever. I mean, these guys are making the minimum is over $500,000, so I think they can afford that.
The slap on the wrist might not do it. You know what would do it if the umpire were just given the discretion to say, all right, well, it's 0-1.
Well, that's what's going to get you in the box.
What do you mean? Yeah, of course it will. You want to be in the hole.
Nothing, and 2 the count. Pitch up and in. 1-2. Pitch number 50 for Adam Wainwright. And that is hammered out to deep right. And off the top of the wall. Stays in the ballpark, one of the deepest parts of the park near the 375 side. So following the error by Tommy Edman, run comes in to score. Dickerson drives in his 20th of the year.
Waino went up and in the pitch before, went curveball here, trying to bounce it, just doesn't get it all the way down. It's still a good pitch. It's bottom of the zone, maybe even under the zone, but very good piece of hitting right there. Got to stop it here, though. Don't let him trade places. Don't let him get any momentum back.
Makes it a 9-3 St. Louis lead. Here's Starling Marte with an RBI single to center field back in the first. And the fastball taken up and away. Out of play. So the last time the Cardinals had 9 or more runs and 3 home runs in that inning, a single inning, September 17th of 1999. It was back-to-back home runs by McGuire, Thomas Howard, and Fernando Tatis. That was a year that Big Mac wound up hitting 65 after the summer of 70 in 1998. The Cardinals then went on that great run starting in 2000. The 2-1 pitch. Beauty in there. Big Max, by the way, was a grand slam in that particular game against Houston.
Good curveball right there. Adam Wainwright kind of starts it right at Marte. Showed him the fastball in before that and then dropped that in. Big Mac can hit some majestic home runs.
Oh boy.
That's a BP that everybody'd show up for.
20-25,000 in the ballpark just to watch that. Tukey Westhoff, 90 years young today. One of the biggest Cardinal fans out there. Happy birthday to Tukey Westhoff. Washington, Missouri. Never misses our broadcast. 3-2 pitch to Marte with a runner at second base. Tapped foul. It's another 3-2 pitch. Line foul, and it was here last year that Mike Schilt was hit on the head with a foul ball and went to a local hospital and was okay, but man, and then he went and got Yachty's mask and put that on.
Better safe than sorry. It doesn't happen that often, but you're so close right there. It's incredibly dangerous. Fortunately, those guys are always paying attention.
Doesn't matter when it comes that hard.
Yes, right?
Well, you never know. It might knock some sense into him, too.
Whoa.
See, I could say that, and I'll tell Mike I said that. He'll say, I agree. Good guy, good man, does a great job.
Well, it's time for this drafting young lad to make a pitch right here.
And he doesn't. That's down into the corner. Marte will drive in a run. He's 2 for 2, and that makes it 9-4. Marte has driven in 2 of the 4 tonight. And it just might be one of those nights.
Last couple of big hits have been on the breaking ball. Now this one just up, catches too much at the plate. The one Dickerson was down. It was a good AB. He was battling stuff off, fouling off some heaters. Waino went to something different. Now, not to the exact same extent as we saw with Lyles, who, you know, look, he was getting hit all over the ballpark. But the same idea with Adam Wainwright. You're going to have to make him feel you on the inner half of the plate. You got to get inside. Adam's strength isn't strikes in, but it's going to be in off the plate for the effect to set up that fastball way, which has been really effective for him.
Makes it a 9-4 St. Louis lead. And Josh Bell with one swing could get the Pirates right back in it. Bell struck out on a 77-mile-an-hour curveball his first time up. So there's the pitch in, and see what he comes back with here on the second pitch. The 1-0. And again, 2 balls, no strikes.
You're certainly not in this spot. I mean, you're still up 5 runs.
You're not trying to walk Bell, but you do have first base open, and Cabrera might be a little bit easier task.
Bell
right at him.
Rips it foul. So combined 11 runs here in this second inning. Three and 1 the count. And you got to think, yeah, I was just about to say, you got to think about your bullpen potentially as Wainwright is struggling to get out of the second.
Mike Myers recalled yesterday.
That's the 4th walk handed out by Adam Wainwright.
You kind of wonder at this point also, and again, the hope is Waino, you know, gets Cabrera, gets on a roll and gets going. But if not, where are the innings going to come from here from the Cardinals? Mike Myers, again, believe has extended that far where he can give you, wouldn't think, more than 2.
It's the kind of game that you would hope that you'd give Carlos Martinez another night, and he might have it anyway. And a foul ball by Melky Cabrera. Walked his first time up. He had the outfield assist to catch Fowler trying to score at the plate. By the way, that was his 120th outfield assist, which is tied with Nick Markakis of the Braves, most among active players. Here's the 0-1.
Well, another guy, talked about Lyles, another guy here in Melky Cabrera that might find himself in a different uniform here as the season goes on. Trade deadline, veteran player, good guy to have around.
For sure. Doesn't get the call on the inner half, and hitters count 2-1, and things have gotten interesting. You say, well, it's a 5-run lead, but you're only in the second inning. Wainwright got the first 2 to begin this inning, then the air by Edman. Back-to-back doubles, a walk, 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs, and 2 on for the Pirates. His time is called.
been a combined 76 pitches here in this second inning. And hit sharply to Goldschmidt. Backhands, he'll take it himself and beats Cabrera to the bag. Pirates pick up a pair, cut into the lead. It's now 9-4. With a 2-run homer to left. And his first big league homer back in the second. It was a trio of 2-run shots for the Cardinals in part of that 9-run inning. StatCast AI powered by AWS.
You know Andrew Kisner's been dreaming of that moment for a long time. That was a special one. Let's add to that now. Add to that highlight reel of the day.
Cardinals batted around in the second inning. Sent 13 men to the plate. And a fastball by Escobar. He came in with 2 outs and nobody on. 8 extra base hits in the second. Ties a major league record for a single inning. How about that?
That's pretty cool.
It's happened 5 times in the history of baseball. And you think about how many innings in so many years of this game, and it's happened 5 times.
It amazes me, honestly, still, as long as this game has been played, that we continue to see history or tying history. That's what's so cool about this ball game. You just never know what you might see every night when you turn on the TV or show up at the yard.
That's what Red Schoendienst would always say, and he'd also say, I hang around young people, they keep me young.
He was life lesson. He certainly was.
He'd be still in uniform and he was 90 years old, hitting fungos. Upstairs, and a walk for Kisner. And Red also had an amazing talent for seeing talent and eyeballing it and being on his card in spring training and stopping and saying, hey, who's that guy on a backfield? Watch him pitch, watch him maybe take a ground ball, hit, and he said, that guy's pretty good. Next thing you know, it'll be a year or two and he'd be in the big leagues. Wainwright will be asked to bunt in this spot. He struck out back in the second inning. Up and in, and almost knocked him down.
This thing just riding in on Waino way high, and it'll be tough to get that thing down. Also very tough to even pull the bat back and get out of the way of it.
As a pitcher, and you know he's squaring to bunt, what were you taught? What were you taught to throw?
Well, a lot for me. I mean, no secret here. It was going to be a sinker, but the sinker in is hard to bunt. Like anything going that way.
Gets the bunt down in his 4th sacrifice of the year. 1-4 on the sacrifice.
But the main thing all the time as a pitcher, you just got to know you got to be ready to bounce, because if he ends up getting one back to you, you got the opportunity to get 2. Adam does a good job of just deadening this thing, and it comes down to the little things. Get your job done. Get the guy over. He does that here. Tommy Edman hopefully gets him in, and then Adam Wainwright goes back out there and hopefully has a good 3rd inning.
Tommy Edman tonight has popped out in foul territory and also walked and scored on a double by Fowler. He scored from first. That fastball catches the inside corner at 95. One ball, one strike on Tommy Edman. In the dirt, and it's 2-1. Luis Escobar pitched in the 10th inning on Monday and stranded his 3 inherited runners.
Retired one batter. It's recalled from AAA. Back on the 6th. And he might be able to give him a little length. He was a starter at one point at Indianapolis, their AAA affiliate. He is the 23rd Colombian-born player to make it to the big leagues. And 5 of those 23 originally signed by the Pirates. Pirates were huge for so many years because of Roberto Clemente, of being able to sign Latin players. Success that they had with Clemente, what he meant to this community and the game. Hit out of play.
This is one of those games too for Escobar where it appears to be out of hand right now. You never know how it might go, but it's the chance for him to get, more leverage positions, bigger and better outings as they head down the stretch. There's always an opportunity in any game, any at bat that you take. Anytime you get a chance to take the mound, you've always got a chance to turn ahead.
(3-2) taken for a ball. So Edman, his second walk, 2 in the inning. Clemente, by the way, a .317 career hitter. And even 3,000 hits, had a cannon in right field. He won 12 Gold Gloves, 4 batting titles, and 3 of the 4 happened in the mid-60s. And the year that he did win the batting title, he won the MVP. He would step to the plate, Old Three Rivers, and the organist would play the theme music from Jesus Christ Superstar.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Man, what a career.
Here's Dexter Fowler. Plane that he was on was overloaded with relief supplies, and that's when it crashed into the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, New Year's Eve of 1972. Headed to earthquake-stricken Nicaragua. And then 3 days after his death, the Hall of Fame waived the 5-year waiting period to be elected. And that's only happened with one other player prior to Roberto Clemente, and that was Lou Gehrig. Nine other players, along with Clemente, have had their number retired. And you may remember in 2006, the All-Star game was here at PNC Park, and that was really a celebration of his life. And I think when we talk about Clemente or Jackie Robinson, those that have meant so much to the game, and I mean, I have young children. I tell them about Jackie Robinson. They say, now wait a minute, you're telling me that he wasn't allowed to play and he was the first guy because of his skin color? And I said, yes, our young fans need to know it. It's more than baseball. It's part of our history in our country, and a dark part of our history, not to see those players and what they could do, and being part of what is Major League Baseball, a world game.
Certainly. No, it is important. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and how everything, and certainly our world is not perfect currently, but you need to know the history of how things went. Those guys had to handle a lot of things. Jackie Robinson certainly, I mean, dealt with things that these players never even had to think about, and still played the game at the highest level and carried himself at the highest level.
That's right. So 2 on and 2-0 the count on Dexter Fowler with 1 out. 9-4 St. Louis. Fowler has struck out and also doubled inside the third base line to bring in Tommy Edman. 3-0, and pitcher Escobar not throwing strikes, and so you get that kind of reaction on the infield.
Well, I'd like to see him shoot one right past the infield. Still got to be ready. This game, I mean, if you're the Pirates, you got to think, all right, well, at least we've got their pitcher on the ropes a little bit. Got to be able to stay in on this one. You know, Escobar's giving it everything that he's got. Certainly it does get frustrating when you have the long innings, but still got to be able to lock in.
3-1 the count here. 3-2. Inning started with a walk by Kisner on 4 straight. Sacrifice by Wainwright is 4th of the year. Edman walked. And now 3-2 with 2 runners on. Fouled back by Dexter Fowler.
Dex went for the old smell the burning wood on that one too. Just fouled that thing straight back.
I didn't see the lick of the bat, though.
He didn't do that. That's a patented Puig move. I don't know if you have to pay him every time you try to do that. I don't think it's worth it.
Might get some kind of endorsement out of that, don't you think? Like chapstick or something. I mean, you get the pine tar on your cheek, your lips. 3-2, hit out of play.
I mean, I do love me the smell of pine tar.
I do too, actually.
It's like one of my favorite smells. I really enjoy it. I'm not sure that I'd want to lick it, though.
Probably not.
No.
You'd be like the kid from Christmas Story that has his tongue.
Come on, guys.
Touched it. It's stuck to the pole on a cold day. Shoot your eye out, Brad.
Is it Ralphie?
Ralph. Oh, Ralphie. 3-2 pitch to Dexter Fowler. Again. Runners go, and Fowler sends one into center. Marte back near the wall and makes the catch. Dexter gave it a ride to deep center field, and the runners back to first and second.
It's an out, but it's a loud one. Dexter Fowler is finding a lot of barrels here recently. And the Cardinals offense overall is starting to square the ball up even more. Even in the games where you haven't seen a ton of runs, you're seeing harder outs. It's a good trend.
Seeing hitting.
Also a good trend.
Part of the game, Brad.
It's a simple game. You catch the ball, you throw the ball, you hit the ball.
There you go. Simple, but yet complicated, hard.
Ain't that the truth?
2 outs, 2 on. Martinez smacks that out to Marte. And he's there to make the catch. Cardinals get a couple of walks and cannot cash in. Midway through 3. St. Louis on top. A great deal pulled off by John Mozeliak. And a historic deal got the Cardinals into postseason play, and they picked up Matt Holliday. And in his debut is July 24th. We were in Philly. 4 for 5 in his Cardinals debut. Late June, they had picked up Mark DeRosa. Julio Lugo was also added that season. See more at the Summer Lou at Fuse.com.
I remember the day that we got Matt Holliday very, very well. I remember the feeling when he walked into the clubhouse. The news, first of all, and everybody knew the player, you know, that Matt Holliday was. And there's an excitement. But as soon as he walked in the room, it was like, oh, this is real. Look at us go. And a team that was already successful and a good team got a huge, huge boost. And that's what the trade deadline can do. Now, you're not always going to be able to make moves to bring in a Matt Holliday type, but you can certainly bring in some momentum, bring in some excitement, and spark something even more on a good ball club.
So just really, it changed the complexion of that team and the mindset maybe in that clubhouse.
You had a team that already believed in themselves, already had a great nucleus, but then the front office had the feeling that, look, we can add to this team, and we're confident in this group of guys and want to give them more. That breeds confidence within that clubhouse also. These guys feed off stuff like that.
3-1 the count on Colin Moran, then Newman to follow, and Diaz. It was Shane Peterson, Clayton Mortensen, and Brett Wallace to the A's for Matt Holliday. Had been traded in his walk year by the Rockies to Oakland, and then Oakland to St. Louis.
That worked out pretty well for the Cardinals.
Did it
overall,
ever?
didn't it?
And for fans who don't know, we made the announcement the other day that Matt is joining his brother, the head coach at Oklahoma State, in their baseball program. He'll be an assistant. He had moved back to Stillwater.
Those kids are going to get some good instruction over there.
Brett Wallace never materialized, and he had gaudy numbers at Arizona State, was a top pick by the Cardinals, and won the Triple Crown in the Pac-12. Hit the other way and out of play. Mortensen was out of the league by 2013. He had 5 years up and down. Cardinals, Oakland, Colorado, and Boston. And Matt Holliday became a terrific Cardinal on the field, and his impact is still felt what he did off the field with homers for health, which is carried on today. He's raised millions of dollars for sick children in our area. There's a ground ball. Gloved by Goldschmidt, steps on the bag. And the more I got to be around him, the more I just enjoyed his personality. Is, you know, some players, and I think Goldschmidt is kind of in this category, where they're stoic on the field, but then you get them behind the scenes and you learn who they really are. It's just, this is the baseball mindset of who he is. And I've talked to Paul a bunch since he's been acquired by the Cardinals, and believe me, he's a different guy than what you see playing first base. He's pretty stoic anyway in general, but he does have more of the personality of a human being than the guy that you see playing first base every night.
Sometimes you need to be a machine out on the field, but you can't live your whole life like that. And certainly with Matt Holliday, worked like crazy.
Yes, he did.
I mean, just a real student of the game. Cared so much about every aspect of it. But you're right, behind the scenes, sneaky, very funny.
Very funny. There's a ground ball, broken bat. Newman is out number 2.
Just a great teammate, a great guy to be around. We're happy for him in this next transition. And Matt Holliday is one of those guys that whatever he wants to do in the game of baseball, he'll be able to do. So if he wants to continue to coach at the collegiate level with his brother, he can do that. He's been great at broadcasting, doing stuff with MLB Network. He's awesome there. I mean, he can coach in the big leagues. He can do anything.
You may remember it was a couple of years ago, a few years ago now, Holliday was hurt and we asked him to come up to the booth. Do you remember that?
Yes, it was fantastic.
And fans, I mean, I've had more people talk about that interview and a few others, but that one for sure, that said, man, I had no idea about his personality. And I said, well, that's who he is.
Yep.
And you got a little glimpse into it. He was funny, he was glib, he was ripping on Jim Hayes. I mean, that's not that hard to do, right?
But you have to have the right relationship.
That's right.
So, and those guys have it.
They did and do. 2-1 the count here on Diaz, the 8th place hitter in this lineup. 2 outs and nobody on. But it's fun to show that side of the players. There's a high fly ball lifted out to right. Martinez back, looks up, and it's off the chain link fence. Played it perfect, and his throw is offline just a bit as he tried to dig Diaz into thinking that was a home run and maybe catch him trotting to the bag at second.
He wanted to show off that rocket again that we had a chance to see the other night. This thing hits midway up the wall, and he does do a really good job of playing it.
It was also the type of deal, Brad, that it energized your club, but it was a chancy move, but an educated chance by the Cardinals, knowing and talking to players and other people around the game that this might be a perfect fit not only for us, but for him too. He likes this kind of city, wants to be in a baseball environment. And obviously they made it work, and he had a great run in St. Louis.
I do think that's part of something leading up to the trade. Well, it's not the be-all, end-all if you can re-sign a guy. If you're going to give away assets, and even though those guys didn't pan out to, at least have incredibly long big league careers, the guys that you traded away, they were big-time assets at that point. So you want to think that you have a future with a guy, and they did with Matt Holliday, and the Cardinals have been famous for doing that over the years, getting somebody in, signing them to extensions, and being here for the long term.
Luis Escobar. So this gives you an idea maybe of the bullpen situation of the Pirates. Now we're only in the third. They're down by 5, but they do have a runner in scoring position, and sticking with Escobar here.
Yeah, look, they're at the point where they need innings, and hopefully this is a point that the Cardinals aren't going to be at. But Adam Wainwright right now already at 84 pitches. Sometimes you just got to give ABs to guys when you don't want to, but it's for the greater good.
The 2-2 pitch, and he struck him out, his second strikeout of the night. Coming up, the aforementioned Paul Goldschmidt to lead it off. Reached on an air and a 2-run homer. He's homered in 3 straight. Then DeJong and Wong. 9-4 St. Louis. Schmidt, he'll lead it off this inning. Kubota power stats, and he's starting to heat it up with guys that have enjoyed hitting against Pittsburgh Pirate pitching in their Cardinal Hall of Fame careers. Scott Rowland, Ray Langford, Goldie. Rowland will be inducted later this summer into the Cardinals Hall of Fame, and Ray Langford, good to see him in there, as Ray really had a nice career and was, I think, overshadowed by maybe the teams getting better on, you know, some of the teams that he played for weren't very good, and you just didn't know how good he was.
You go back and dig into the numbers, and he had some monster years. Ray Langford, by the way, still has tons of power. Cardinal fantasy camps, he's letting it eat, dropping home runs left and right. He still got it.
I like it. Keeps himself in great shape too. So Escobar came in with 2 outs, nobody on in the second, and here we are in the fourth. And Goldschmidt looks at a strike. 2-run homer, part of that 9-run second inning for St. Louis. On the play, 0-2.
Dan, I like you, really enjoyed the 9-run second inning. But what makes this offense relentless is they keep piling on. Got to keep fighting.
Goldschmidt lifts it into right for a base hit. You may remember the Cardinals had big innings earlier this season, early in games, and then they just went really quiet. It was a point of emphasis by Jeff Albert and Mike Schilt to, you know, follow exactly what you're talking about. Don't give in, pile on, and we'll see if they can't do that tonight.
It's a good piece of hitting right there by Goldschmidt to get it started. It was a slider. It was down and away and just kind of stayed with it, served it that way. We've seen Goldie the last couple of months swing through that pitch a lot. Good adjustment.
Here's Paul DeJong. First man that Escobar saw after Lyles went an inning in 2/3. Jim Tatum from Pineville, Missouri, 94 years young, never misses a game. Happy birthday. Says he's been watching Cardinals baseball since 1933. And DeJong hits it out to left center. It's at the wall. Goodbye. Paul DeJong, his second 2-run homer tonight. He's up to 17. Nissan drive of the game, and 4 2-run homers hit by the Cardinals.
This right here is the Paul DeJong we saw early in the season. It's a fastball. It's middle in, and he is hands in, barrel to it, right through it, into the upper deck Pirates bullpen behind the Cardinals pen. Man, he's feeling it right now. Tons of barrels.
Second multi-home run game of his career, and the last was against the Mets in 2018. 11-4 Cardinals. That pitch taken outside.
Right on cue. Talking about piling on, not being satisfied just the one big inning. It was Goldschmidt. They got it started with a nice little base hit the opposite field, then a home run. Start another one here.
Most home runs in a game, 4 for the Cardinals. That was at Citi Field in New York earlier this season. And now a walk to Colton Wong, on base for the 3rd time. Cardinals tonight have received 4 walks. 3 have been issued from this right-hander. Brings in Jairo Munoz, who doubled inside the first base line back in the 2nd. It's early. You're up 11-4. How aggressive does Mike Show want to be with Wong at first base?
Colton has got some great jumps so far this year. That's something that guys spend a lot of time on. Now, oftentimes you're getting your reads off the starters, but you got to know all your relievers as well. How quick they are to the plate, and that's a lot of what Stubby Clapp is going to be over there talking to him. What tendencies, what is their normal time? What kind of jumps can you get?
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Ground ball left side off the bat of Munoz. Out at 2nd and no throw. Brings in Kisner, 2-run homer, first in the big leagues, back in the 2nd, also walked. So the 4 home runs tonight ties the season high for a ball game for the Cardinals, playing in game number 101 tonight. 53-47 their record. Cardinals 8 for 12 with runners on. That's how you pile on.
That is a big number right there, and again a number that we didn't see much of that in May, June. It's time. It's time
tough.
for this offense to get it going.
Really tough month of May, no question about it. And Wong, who was retired on the force play, gave way to Munoz, and Munoz picks up the stolen base. Boy, that was easy as Escobar lost him.
I know it's a 7-run ball game, and maybe if you're on the mound you're thinking, they're not going anywhere. Look, this game is far from over, and if you're going to give somebody a gift like that, chances are they're going to take it. Can't forget about that part of the game if you're pitching.
Stolen base number 6, and Munoz has number 7. No one there, and the pitcher Escobar never saw him, and it's a stolen base. Number 6 and 7 for Munoz with no throws, no slides. It is a 7-run lead. Keep that in mind and the quote-unquote unwritten rules of the game. And I'm with you. It's early. So what? But some people might take offense to what just happened. Correct?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And maybe Clint Hurdle is one of those guys. I still look at this, and on the flip side, while, I mean, Waino's pitch count is way up. This game is far from over. A lot of things are going to have to happen. Each run has been at a premium. Every single run in this series has been a one-run ball game. I get the frustration, but there should be a little bit of it at your guy for not holding runners.
Wainwright at 86 pitches on the night. 3-0 the count on Kisner. Infield drawn in and another walk. Pirates. There's been some articles and some chatter about how they like to pitch up and in. Joe Madden had issues with that with his club that came through town last time. It's been talked about, and you know, in this kind of situation where a game is out of control, and at least for the time being, and it's early, there are some that will not like that at all.
Well, nothing's going to surprise you. I mean, honestly, at this point in a ball game like this, you never know when offense will be taken. And look, tables turn. Maybe Mike Schilt would be upset about it, but I think that he's got the same feeling about this ball game, where you just never know. You got to take your chances when you get them.
And Wainwright showing bunt.
Waino's probably thinking, that's a strike I'd like to get.
A little smile from Adam there. He had a sacrifice back in the third inning. So runners at the corners, no balls, one strike on Adam Wainwright. Gets the bunt up the first base line, but foul. Nothing and 2 the count on Adam Wainwright here in the fourth inning. Ball gets away, and with that, Kisner advancing to second base. Now, how much jawing is going on in that dugout of the Pirates, maybe towards Mike Schilt and the Cardinals?
Yeah, there could be a little bit. I wouldn't think so on the pass ball right there. You don't like it, don't throw the ball in the dirt. That's just baseball.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, certainly there's going to be an offense taken to that in a ball game like this. But again, it's not over.
Wainwright hits it out to center. Marte with the catch. Munoz tags up to score. Kisner stays put. 12-4. Adam Wainwright driving in his second of the year.
Well, that does the job. Don't get the bunt down, but hit a rocket out to center field. Drive in another one and widen this margin right here. Cardinals keep piling on. Just love to see Wainwright be able to rattle off, you know, at least one more. You'd love 2 more if you can get a quick inning.
Yet players in this lineup, 7 with hits, 7 with runs, and now 7 with a run batted in. Here's Tommy Edman. Fastball taken high. And Mike Schilt may be addressing that situation. And that's a fine line too, because you have a young player and you don't want to take away his aggressive nature. You don't want him to not be a smart ball player. They gave you 2 bases, but maybe this is something in this game. This is how we handle it.
Yeah, no, and there are always learning moments, and there are always times too where maybe these guys say, hey, you got a green light if you feel like you have a shot. Got to let him know when he has. There are other times, look, when the steal sign's just on and you're being aggressive in a ball game where you're not sure that it's out of hand enough. But it's important to always talk through situations like that with young player, veteran player, it doesn't matter.
There is the respect factor that comes into competition in any sport. However, I just don't know anymore what that unwritten rule is of you know, if you're up 20-1, yeah, you don't steal. Yeah. But in a game in which Wainwright, let's be frank, hasn't been great, and you're only in the fourth, do you do that? I just don't know. I don't know the answer. Some may say yes, some may say no. There's an old school thought, then there's the young school thought that if someone gets hit, that's not right. You know, a lot of times players used to police it themselves, and more we hear about no, don't do that. Somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, I know that my thought on it probably shifts if in fact it were the other way around. Chances are in that situation.
Down the left field line and foul. In what way?
Well, just saying, if you're on the receiving end of that, you're probably taking offense.
Yep.
So you can totally understand if that's the case for Clint Hurdle and for the Pirates. You get upset about, you know, you feel like somebody's running something up on you. And if you're the Cardinals, and as you did see, it was Mike Schilt and Aldi Marmol talking it over with Jairo Munoz. All about the situations, all about learning, all about talking it through. Hey, what were you thinking there? What did you see? Here's what we'd like.
Fouled back. Three and two the count. Shift on the right side, and a 3-2 pitch to Tommy Edman. And that's a base hit into center. Kisner being waved in, and the throw by Marte is not in time. How about the wheels of Andrew Kisner? That's your catcher flying around third base. And that single by Edman and RBI makes it a 13-4 St. Louis lead.
Kisner had to be on his horse right here. He's running hard right off of contact as Edman drives him in, but Marte has got a cannon in center field. Great piece of hitting right here. This thing sinking away from Tommy Edman, shoots it right back up the middle. The wheels here of Andrew Kisner, head down, running hard the whole way. Good slide.
That's going to be it for Escobar. Came into the second, will exit here in this fourth inning. Coming on, it'll be Michael Feliz. Feliz in our Chevy Colt to the pen. Feliz coming on with 2 outs and 1 on here in this top of the fourth, and Dexter Fowler at the plate. Edman, your runner at first base, and that's fouled back. And Fowler lifts a fly ball into shallow center. Late break by Marte, but he's there to make the catch. Cardinals send 8 to the plate. Another big inning for St. Louis with 4 runs, highlighted by the DeJong second home run of the night. 13-4. Back in Pittsburgh, Wainwright back out for the bottom of the fourth, and the top of the Pittsburgh lineup, Frazier, Dickerson, and Marte. 13-4 is our score. 13 runs, tied for the second most run support that Wainwright has received in a start. He had 15 back in 2008 against Atlanta.
Run support this year for Adam Wainwright has been an issue. I mean, he was getting just a little over 2 runs a game. Nice to get this. Now, Adam, though, 88 pitches here. It'll be tough to imagine him getting much deeper into this ball game. Gonna need some quick, efficient outs. Those things have been hard to come by.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Inside corner, and he gets that call. Hasn't gotten it all night.
Well, it's the first corner he's gotten already in this at bat. There was a good slider on the inner half that he didn't get. This was a great pitch. Ties him up. You've got Frazier who's looking out over. Excellent pitch right there by Adam Wainwright.
Here's Corey Dickerson. Tell you what, there's going to be, I just think it's fascinating how the rest of this series will play out, and including tonight with what the Cardinals may do with their pen. Does Wainwright get through 5? He's at 90 pitches. That will help. Hit into right as Martinez comes in a step or two and makes the catch. The comments maybe after the game on the Munoz steal, and you know, a lot of times that stuff just goes away.
Yep. A lot of times also stuff like that goes away and then pops back up in 2 months.
Has a way of doing that.
Kind of another intricate part of baseball that you just don't see in other sports.
That's right. Here's Marte. He is driven in 2 with a single and a double tonight. And then strike zone with a 9-run lead is gotten a little bigger here this inning.
Well, at least the strikes are being called strikes.
Tyler Webb throwing in the Cardinals' pen. Inside.
A lot of pitches in the first 2, 67 through 2. Tad been more efficient here recently. And that pitch right before that slider is the one that set up that swing and miss. It was hard in off the plate. Got Marte to back off a little bit.
Set it up, and now the 2-2. They go back in. He hits his spot with a cutter and a strikeout. Well, it's a quick inning. And the question now, do you send him back out for one more?
Yes.
Agreed.
Lead in the top of the 5th inning. We've officially reached scoreboard watching season, especially right now at the top of the Central Division. A lot of movement going on. Cardinals a game back to Chicago right now. I spoke to Paul DeJong about scoreboard watching earlier, and he said, we know we've got to win games in the division, but we also have to beat everyone. We've got to win the series. That's our focus, despite what everyone else in the league is doing. Mike Schultz added, we got to compete today. We know the standings are real, but the reality is they're only going to matter at the last day of the season. What we do today will put us in a good light to where we want to go. We've just got to put our energy in it today. Dan.
Scoreboard watching here in late July. I never believed a player that said, well, I wasn't paying attention until the final week, until they told me we were eliminated. Right.
You might sneak a peek every once in a while.
I think so.
Maybe when you get back to the hotel, flip on the channel, see some highlights. And even if they're not, well, we can.
And we do. Jose Martinez at the plate. That's fouled back. Martinez tonight 1 for 3 with a base hit to right and a run scored.
So it's scoreboard watching time because that's fun. We all love to see the jockeying back and forth in the standings. It's also that time of year, Dan, where it's hug watch. Gotta watch out for the hugs in the dugout, because a hug in the dugout might mean somebody got traded. Hug watch.
Hug watch. Final line on Escobar in relief of Lyles, and there's a look at the box score. Lyles went an inning and 2/3. Escobar 2 innings, 5 runs on 5 hits, 1 strikeout, and walked 4.
Everybody getting in on the action. 8 with hits, 8 with RBIs, 7 with a run scored. Pretty good day.
Taken there by Feliz for the first down. Here's Goldschmidt. He's been on base 3 times and 3 runs scored. Reached on an error in the 2nd inning. 2-run homer in that 2nd inning. And also single to right. Came around on the 2-run homer hit by Paul DeJong. It's back on the 17th. Cardinals at that point in the game, they needed it. 3-run blast. Goldschmidt, and that was done off of this right-hander Feliz. Cardinals took 2 of 3 in the series. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters of the Cardinals tonight. 7 for 8, 7 runs scored, 7 runs batted in.
Woo! The middle of the order getting a little scary, isn't it?
Yes. Goldschmidt, DeJong have picked it up. Wong continues his hot hitting. The slider there, and he did go. First base umpire Chad Fairchild. Cardinals with 4 home runs tonight. 2 by DeJong. 1 by Kisner, first ever in the big leagues, and Goldschmidt now the team leader ahead of Ozuna with 21. And he struck him out, and Feliz has seen 3, and 3 have gone down. First strikeout tonight. MLB.tv. Check out every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. MLB.tv. Cardinals have struck out 5 times tonight. The first 4 Feliz, and the batter is Paul DeJong. He is, for the 2nd time, hit 2 home runs in a game at the major league level, and both have been 2-run homers. He scored 3 runs. DeJong, originally selected by the Pirates, by the way, 38th round in 2014, did not sign and went on to Illinois State. They drafted him as a catcher.
I think his transition out of the catching position is working okay also.
I would say so.
All right with it.
Don't find that very often. A guy that's a catcher and then turns into a shortstop. Craig Biggio comes to mind. He was a second baseman, but a catcher early on in his career. And that hit DeJong, just nicked him. So he's on base again. Usually a catcher becomes a DH or a first baseman or an outfielder.
You don't generally go to a more mobile position.
No.
Or significantly mobile position, but he's done great, and I just love the fact, and the story today certainly for Paul DeJong has been the bat. It's the couple of 2-run home runs, the double. I mean, he's just seeing the ball so much better. He was an all-star this year, had a great April. But to me, I just love seeing him grow as a shortstop. That glove has been so good. That combo up the middle, one of the best in baseball.
DeJong committed an error in this series, but that was only his 4th, as we are now over the century mark in games played. 101 here tonight. Colton Wong on base 3 times, 2 doubles. Go along with a walk. And Jairo Munoz is on deck.
Good slider down and into Colton Wong. This is a pitch if you don't get it in there. If you leave this over the plate at all, that's the pitch that he can do his big damage on. That's the doubles. That's the home runs. Feliz does a great job of making sure he doesn't miss there.
Little grounder hit to Bell. Backs up a step and a flip to Feliz. Cardinals strand a runner, their 5th of the night. We're midway through 5 and St. Louis on top 13-4. Done the last 3 years. The Cardinals, whether it was under Tony La Russa or Mike Matheny, usually would make that good push in the final couple of months, and now they're trying to do that here with Mike Schild.
Tell you one number that popped off the page right there to me was that defense. The errors just drastically cut down.
And Bell lifts a fly ball out to Jose Martinez for the out. And so when you look at Wainwright and what's happened, he had a walk in the 2nd inning, then got out of it with 2 runners on, and Melky Cabrera up. Since then, he's allowed 1 man to reach, and that was the double by Diaz, and it was an efficient 4th inning. Now a quick first out here in the 5th. We'll see how deep he can go.
98 pitches right now, but we've seen Wainwright get extended well past the 100 pitch mark.
Yeah, if your bullpen was rested, you know, that's one way to look at it. You'd say, well, maybe guys need work out there. But in this particular spot, and they don't have an off day until Monday, if he has an efficient 5th, do you push him for a 6th?
I think another thing to trust, and Mike Schild is very good at this, is the eyeball test. Adam Wainwright is getting better. Look at the last 2. He jammed Bell. Great pitch right there to get in on Cabrera as well. Eyeball test tells you he's getting better and better. He's getting efficient. You can't get caught up in the magic number of 100 all the time, especially with a guy like Adam Wainwright. He's been around the block. He knows himself so well. You know that if he gets another quick out right here, he's going to be first thing. That's going to be the first stop he makes, is saying, I'm good. I'm good to go. He's starting to field a little bit too. You see when Waino's, he's always locked in, but he gets that lean in like he's raring to go. Getting the ball back quick, getting on top of the mound and rocking and firing right now.
Colin Moran at a sac fly. The bases loaded back in the 1st. Also grounded out. So the bullpen, the pitches the last 7 days.
That's a whole lot of pitches.
It's a lot, and you're asking a lot. And the 1-1 pitch, fastball just off the plate. So if you average that out, it's about 73 pitches per day from your pen.
Did you do that math upstairs?
Yep.
Man, you gotta get better at that.
Gonna be quick. The 2-1 pitch upcoming here with 2 outs and nobody on, and Colin Moran at the plate.
Did you do core math, or like how'd you get there?
That's a personal question.
All right, definitely 73, definitely.
2-2. See how quickly I did that. 2-2.
Get it, putting it together. You're a numbers guy. A nice offering right there, bottom of the strike zone.
The 2-2, he has struck out 4, and that's fouled back. The Cardinals will have, by the way, Jairo Munoz leading it off, and just bring that up because Munoz had the 2 stolen bases with no throw. 2nd and 3rd, big lead for the Cardinals, and just the body reaction, and you could see some of the guys jawing down there. That was not taken kindly by the Pirates, and so he'll lead it off next inning. And there's a strikeout, and Brad, I just gave you a really good tease. To tease, it's no math. That means Jairo's coming up. A 10-pitch inning for Waino. Chevy called to the pen. Keone Kela is the pitcher. And so he's dealt with some issues, and Gung is now into the ball game, and Bell is out. So Moran goes from third to first. Gung at third. He can play shortstop too and second base, and Kela is the new pitcher. They picked him up the trade deadline last year. This guy's a former closer. He's got good stuff.
Kind of an interesting couple of days for Keone Kela. He was on the IL. He was working his way back. He was reinstated from the IL and then put on the restricted list for what they were saying is just a breaking of some sort of team rules for a couple of days. They had no further comment on it. But he is back now, and look, they need him right now. A couple of bullpens, both these teams that have been overworked and need all the fresh arms that they can get.
And there's a base hit down in the corner for Munoz on his way to second base. Standing up with a double. And Jairo Munoz, his second double tonight.
We've seen him and Colton Wong both hit multiple doubles, and both hit them both ways. His first one was the shot right down. It was a fastball up and away by Jordan Lyles. He shot down the right side. This time sprays one down the left side. Just showing off he can hunt some heaters.
So they pitched to Munoz, and no fireworks. That's good to see. And now it's Kisner, who's been on base 3 times and scored 2 runs. First major league home run was back in the second. And that pitch in the dirt. Reminder that Bud Bash is coming up at the ballpark. Jason Mott will be featured. Cardinals.com/BudBash. It's a career high for Munoz. 2 doubles in a game.
Still a lot of ball game left too. That Jason Mott beard on that bobblehead, that must have been like a April beard.
Yes.
That thing got pretty gnarly by the end of the year.
Shallow left, going out the shortstop Newman to make the catch.
I used to love it when and I think over the years people got a feel for Jason Mott and what he was, but people would ask the opposition, is this guy crazy or something?
Yeah.
He's out there, he looked like he was possessed out on the mound. I'm like, no, he's actually like the nicest human being on earth.
He is such a nice guy. But yet when he got out there, like many competitors, let it rip.
That's right.
Here's Ravello now to pinch hit for Wainwright, so his night is through. We thought they may push him for one more inning. And to your point, Brad, he was getting better as the game went along.
He was. Look, Waino responded really well in this ball game. It's going to be up to the bullpen from here on out. You know he's not happy with only being able to give you 5 innings, but I think that when he looks back at it, knowing where the pitch count was through the first couple of innings, he at least gave his team a chance to win here.
So he's able to give the Cardinals 5 innings and still 12 outs to go, and you're going to have to use your bullpen. Not ideal with a 9-run lead. You could see, I mean, Adam will say after the game, if the Cardinals win it, hey, it's nice to win. It's a team win, but I'm assuming he's going to say I need to go deeper into games.
Well, you know that's what he wants. You know every single time that Adam takes them out, like he fully expects, not like hopes, he expects to go 9 innings. That's what he expects of himself. So anything short of that, oftentimes, you know, he's going to feel like he didn't do the job, and certainly not as efficient as he'd like to be early. But sometimes you got to battle, sometimes you just have to fight, and sometimes you have to get better as you go on, and that's exactly what he was able to do there. We've seen that 2 nights in a row now. Dakota Hudson had the rocky first inning, not to the extent as far as pitch count goes for Adam Wainwright, but he bounced back incredibly well, and this team has figured out ways to pick itself up in different aspects.
Mike Myers throwing in the Cardinal pen, the 0-2 pitch.
Lifted in the air down the right field line, foul territory, and Moran with the catch. And now a word from Great Southern Bank.
Oh, break time. I'll deposit my check.
It's time for a stretch.
Really?
Here's Tommy Edman on base 3 times, pair of walks, and also a single to center with 2 outs. That scored a run back in the 4th. So Lyles an inning and 2/3, Escobar 2 innings, 5 runs. Lyles gave up 8. Feliz inning and a 1/3, scoreless baseball. Now Kella, the right-hander, in with 2 outs and a runner at second base, and a fastball in there for a strike.
Talking about a rough handful of starts for Jordan Lyles. His last one against the Phillies was good. He went 5 1/3, only gave up 1. 8 tonight earned runs, 7 the previous 2 against the Cubbies. That's an ERA inflator right there.
Yes, it is. 0-1 pitch to Tommy Edman. Leadoff hitter, you think about a guy that maybe takes a lot of pitches and sees a lot of pitches. Well, that's been the case tonight with Tommy Edman.
Has been making the pitcher work. That's part of the job. He's very good both sides of the plate, can drive the ball all over the place. That's next level, though, is fouling stuff off, drawing your walks when they're there.
Here's a 1-2. Did not go. 2-2. Kella has been out for a long time and could be a valuable piece for a club potentially in clubs that need help and relief.
Just looking through before the game today of trade rumors, and that was one of them. That Kella out there, the Pirates would listen on him. And the Pirates are at the point where, look, you got some different decisions to make, and you got to listen, and you got to kind of build towards the future as well. And you can get a prospect or 2 for a guy like Kella who could really help out a ball club. You got to do it.
Yep. 2-2, and a good fastball. 96 strikes out Edman. Cardinals strand their 6th runner of the night. To the pen we go. Bottom of the 6th rolls in when we come back. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University physicians, national leaders in medicine. And by Ford, the official car and truck of your St. Louis Cardinals. We're at PNC Park and back in action. Good to have him back, and that's Mike Myers, and he'll take over for Wainwright. 5 innings, 4 runs on 4 hits, struck out 5 and walked 4. Those 4 came in the first 2 innings, and Waino finished his night retiring the final 7 he saw. Myers gets a ground ball, and Newman the first out.
Well, 1 pitch, 1 out. You got to like that. And Mike Myers, it has been a long time, as you mentioned, hasn't pitched in a big league game since April 15th. Had to leave the game against Milwaukee with a strained lat, and been working to get back. Had a very successful rehab, and here we are. And look, they're going to need him. Remember, I mean, Mike early in the season was one of the go-to guys.
Yes, he was
getting into a lot of big ball games, and the ERA got a little bit inflated just in that last game. Overall, he was great.
There's Diaz. And that pitch missed outside. When they brought in Gung to the ball game, as well as Kella, I thought Gung would go in the 9 position, but that is listed as Kella's spot, and then you would have had Gung go in the 9 spot, but
Apparently it was a straight switch in the order there, so he'd have to go to his bench. There's a 1-2 pitch to Diaz, taken high and inside. Familiarity, I'm sure, with Andrew Kisner and Mike Myers, their time in the minor leagues.
Good time for that good slider.
And the 2-2, that was it, and didn't get the call.
It fooled everybody. This is just a beauty right here after the good heater in.
3-2 pitch to Diaz, who's 1 for 2 with a double tonight. Remember, it was at the end of last year, and Mike Maddox at Wrigley Field told Mike Myers, final game, I'm going to bring you in, but you're going to throw curveball slider. I want to see it, and you're going to use it. And he saw
like all of it,
right, like Rizzo and Bryant and Baez, and was really good with it. And that was the idea in spring training. That's a line just over Goldschmidt and into right field for a single. Phillips 66. Ticket vouchers are back better than ever. Fill up at Phillips 66 and get a voucher for up to 50% off on 8 tickets. Cardinals.com/Phillips 66. So the pinch hitter will be Osuna for Kella. I'm confused. Is that why Gung was brought in the game, not to at least get him in here in the 9 position, and he's not due up until the 4 spot of Josh Bell, and yet no one is up and been throwing in their pen.
Makes very little sense right now. I don't know if there were some wires crossed when it came to him being inserted, but I mean, look, we got the pinch hitter here. I don't know.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Martinez racing after it and makes the catch on the run. So Osuna retired. And clearly they were not going to go more than 1 inning with Kella, but still you'd get Gung in that spot. Maybe you just want to go to his bench.
Mixing it up a little bit.
So 2 outs and a runner at first, top of the lineup, and Frazier walked and scored, reached on an error and scored, and also struck out looking. 2 outs and the first pitch taken high. The other aspect of Myers coming back is that, and I'm not sure anybody's really truly rested, but he's had that time off and he was dealing with an injury, but you get a somewhat fresh body and arm in that bullpen in what can be trying times, as you know, for a pen late August into September or even late July.
Yeah, well, and the key is to try to keep some guys fresh, and that's where it just keeps coming back to the point of the starters got to give more and more innings. But you're right now, when that just hasn't necessarily been the case overall, it is nice to get a guy like Myers back. And early in the season, I believe it was 4 of his first 5 outings were an inning plus. I mean, he can give you a little bit more. I don't know how far you want to push him when he first comes back.
Mike Schilt has said many times, if you're here, you're part of the 25-man roster. We throw you in the fire and get the most out of those players.
It's a good point. If you're here, it means you're healthy, and it means you're back to where you want to be. And it goes back to the eyeball test yet again. If you see a guy that's kind of cruising, you can send him back out there again if he's able to keep the pitch count in order.
And a fly ball out to Munoz. Again, no one was throwing for the Pirates in their pen. They pinch hit for Kella. We're in the 7th of a 9-run game. A deficit. Do you go with a position player here?
Mystery.
A tease. Ooh. To the question we posed going to break, would it be a position player? And indeed it is. Boy, it's early to do that. Gives you an idea, though, the state of their bullpen. We're in the 7th, and Osuna, who pinch hit, stays in the ball game to pitch. He's their, at least one of them, top pinch hitters off the bench, and a guy that can play the outfield, little infield. He's even caught a little bit.
Yeah.
And Clint Hurdle, you know, they've been having extra inning games. We saw that against St. Louis. We've seen the fact that they went to their bullpen a ton. Stratton, you would think, saved their bullpen last night with 3 scoreless, but maybe he's saying, look, throwing out the white flag here, and this game is over. We're down by 9. I don't care if we lose by 90, but I'm saving my bullpen for the day game tomorrow and beyond.
Sometimes you have to manage ahead, and look, we know it's rare to see a position player pitch anyhow, and it can be wildly entertaining also, by the way.
Yes.
But I honestly can't remember the last time I've seen a position player pitch
this early.
Yeah, this early in a ball game.
Hondo home run inning. Gateway Honda dealers, get ready. You might have some money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. That pitch at 91 from Osuna.
Of course, he comes out being a position player and throws harder than I did. That's excellent.
You topped out at, go ahead.
It was around there.
1 ball, 1 strike.
That was close to there.
All right. Okay.
Very close
I'm
to
giving
there.
you credit. You had a great sinker. A lot of ground balls.
Yeah, I mean, look how straight that is.
That's what I'm trying to say. Here's a 1-1. Well, a little levity maybe to a tough night for the Pirates as their pitching staff can just watch. Osuna takes over here in the 7th.
Depending on how it goes here for Osuna, that'll be one of those conversations. You talk about levity. Well, Jordan Lyles certainly is not going to be happy about this game. He had a rough one, really rough one. But when a position player goes out there and has like a 1-2-3 inning, that conversation.
Ooh,
oh, for
boy.
real? Is that easy, huh?
That looked to be a little breaking ball he mixed in. It's always a concern for anybody that has a position player that someone hurts their arm. You never want to see that as Fowler whacks that out to left, backing up Dickerson, and he's got the first out here in the 7th. Usually, too, it's position players and bench guys that throw under the hitting speed, or they have a good knuckleball. This guy's throwing low 90s.
Yeah, not so much the case right here.
Yeah.
It's not a bag of tricks. He's going to paint the corners with a very good fastball. Well, nice to be able to have that weapon. You don't want to deploy it very often with a position player like that, but look, nice to have in the bag. Did you do that? 93 painted on the outer half.
And Bader pinch hitting here in this 7th inning. Nothing in 2. And they're all like, Trevor Williams is saying, wait a minute, we may have something here.
What are we doing? Guess what you're doing next spring?
And the 0-2 taken high at 93. Pretty simple delivery, a little step back and kicks and fires, and evens it up at 2-2. Went off speed with that pitch.
They're showing you a little everything. We've seen the fastball, the curve ball, the changeup right there. Slowed up a little bit on that one. This one he's going to have to work on.
Outside, full count. Bader, first plate appearance of the night. Pinch hitter here after Martinez had a 1-for-4 evening and a run scored. Cardinals with 13 hits. They've out-hit the Pirates 13-6. And Bader puts it in play to short. 2 away. It is game number 4 of this series. Tomorrow will come your way. 11 St. Louis time. Pre-game show. Budweiser, what's on tap? Michaelis Musgrove tomorrow in game 4. Will the Cardinals be looking for a sweep? Here's Paul Goldschmidt, puts it in play. Little tapper hit towards third. Tough play here and out at first. Osuna has a 1-2-3 tonight.
Of course he does.
And gets a standing O. The only other 1-2-3 was the first inning against St. Louis. Triple bobblehead coming up this Sunday. Pujols, Roland Edmonds. That magical 2004 team. They'll celebrate that with the MV3 triple bobblehead coming up. That giveaway this Sunday. Bader stays in the game in center field. Fowler shifts to right field. Martinez out, second inning for Mike Myers. Dickerson, Marte, and then Gunn. I don't know. I mean, watching Osuna, you'd have to think there had to be some pitching in his background. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Fastball,
Three
pitches, changeup, little slider, breaking ball.
I think that last one he pulled the string, maybe a little two-seam.
Man,
I don't like it. I don't think he's going to be very comfortable tomorrow.
No.
Pitching's a little different.
Might not be able to wash his hair, but
oh, that arm's going to be hanging down to his shoe.
Osuna by position, by the way. First base has been the primary spot for him. He's played third, left, right, little catching, and now a debut as a pitcher. 1 ball, 1 strike on Dickerson. From the Cardinals' perspective, you'd like to think that they'd be able to hold on and you'd stay away from Andrew Miller, Carlos Martinez, Gallegos, and have a chance at a sweep tomorrow.
Yep. And if you're able to do that, then all of a sudden your bullpen is back to exactly where you need it.
Missed on the outside corner. This city has enjoyed a long history of baseball here in Pittsburgh. It's a great sports town with the Penguins and certainly the Steelers. It's been a rough go for the Pirates and their fans last 20 years. Yes, that's a swing and a miss. They've been the Alleghenies, the Burghers, and the Pirates. They started play in 1891. And the Negro Leagues had 2 teams here, the Homestead Grays and the Pittsburgh Crawfords, and one of the greatest Negro League players in the history of baseball, Josh Gibson, called Pittsburgh home. Would have loved to have seen him play.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The Burghers is a really cool name. And very fitting.
Yes. As it pertains to postseason play, the first World Series was in 1903, and that was a 9-game series between the National League Pirates and the Boston Americans. It was the forerunner of the Boston Red Sox. And baseball had been in turmoil. Out to left, and Munoz won't get there, and it hops off the top of the wall. Dickerson held up at third base. So this was the brainchild, if you will, of Barney Dreyfuss. He was the owner of the Pirates at the time, and he came up with the idea of a World Series between the 2 leagues, 2 top teams. Very popular, massive upset. The Americans won. AL was only 2 years old, and that was the birth of World Series play, and it started here with franchise here in Pittsburgh.
How about that? A big rich history for sure, and as you mentioned, a fan base that's starving for that push. A couple of years ago, the Pirates were a part of it, met up with the Cardinals in the postseason. There was a real buzz around the ballpark, such excitement, such hope that it was going to be a big open window for them. They were going to be able to sustain that, and it just hasn't happened. But to your point about the fans here, you look at a Steeler game on a Sunday, how crazy it is. But what's the expectation there? It's winning. You know, they expect big things. Same thing with the Penguins. You expect winning, championship pedigree.
And star players.
Yes.
Lemieux, Crosby, some greats. Paul Coffey was here for a number of years. And championships. It was the city of champions for a while. This past weekend they celebrated the '79 team. We Are Family team. Good pitch to Gunn. And it's 2-1. But that's, you know, it's a celebration of that team, but yet it's also a reminder it's been 40 years. Long time.
Yes, it has.
And forever they talked about, you know, 20 years of losing. Began in '93. His Gunn broke his bat, and it's a pop-up, and the catch made by Goldschmidt. And that finally ended in 2012, Clint Hurdle, but they went through turmoil. They had 3 different owners here in Pittsburgh, 7 managers. They were outscored. I did some numbers not that long ago by 2,000 runs in that time frame. Now think about that.
That's a lot. There's a ton of runs.
And you watch the expansion Marlins win 2 World Series.
Oh.
Tough.
And then tear down.
Yes.
Also.
Brebbia up in the Cardinal pen. A little flare out to shallow left, and that'll drop. 1 run in, no throw by Munoz, and wisely runs it back into the infield. 2-run score on the base hit.
This one here not hit hard, but placed really well. Really does a good job actually of just getting in there on him. But plops down right down there and left and brings 2 in. Look, this game is still a wide margin, but got to get some outs. Want to do so quickly. Don't want to keep having to go to your guys in the pen.
You'd like it to at least be a clean inning for Brebbia to start. And a fastball at 96 to Colin Moran, who picked up an RBI and a sac fly back in the first. So the walk to Dickerson, and then a double by Marte. Gunn popped out, and a little flare by Cabrera, and there's a fly ball into left center. Bader under it for out number 2. The batter is Kevin Newman, 0 for 3. The average major league salary from '93 to 2012 went from $1.2 million, so not bad, to $4 million in 2012. The average salary. Woo! Some changes in the game, no doubt.
Sure. Talk to guys about the minimum salary throughout the years, how it's gone up. I mean, heck, even from when I played and it was still good, it's gone up a couple $100,000 since then. It's amazing. And honestly, right now with the way that baseball is getting, paying their players, that's going to be one of the fights in the next CBA is, look, these young players got to get paid even more. Even entry level likely will get paid more.
Here's my point. Everybody's making money.
That's true.
So
true.
Keep it going.
Yep.
Figure it out.
Oh, that's a fact.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, and that's why it's important that talks start as early as they do, because you can't just get to it. It's right before the CBA is going to end, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, we have a lot of stuff we got to iron out. Now do it now.
Myers hit the deck, and Wong a flip to DeJong.
Serious?
Wow. Colton Wong made it look easy going up the middle to make that play. Myers hit his backside, and he sends us to the 8th. What a play. Colton Wong in the lead to Paul DeJong. Jimmy, thank you. Crowd tonight 18,675. 18675, our largest crowd of the 4-game series thus far. BJC Healthcare difference maker, this guy. Couple of home runs. He's driven in 4. Both were 2-run shots. Scored 3 runs. And a double as well. I'm sure he appreciates the lead pass from Kolten Wong. What a play that was moments ago, and what a night it's been for Paul DeJong. And DeJong hits one out to deep center at the wall. It's gone. Paul DeJong does it again. It's a 3-home run night for the Cardinals All-Star shortstop to dead center field. Paul DeJong, 3 home runs.
What an incredible night here for Paul DeJong. It's down. He's balanced. We showed you a minute ago the other home runs. First one was a slider down and away. The other one was a heater. This one was a breaking ball down. That is a poke to dead center field. He's on fire right now, seeing everything.
Last time we had a 3-home run game was Paul Goldschmidt, you may recall, early in the season at Miller Park, and now Paul DeJong has matched that feat. 3 home runs tonight. And Wong slaps that foul and out of play. What a night for the Cardinals shortstop. 3 home runs. The 2-1 pitch. Cardinals, it's a season high in a single game. Their 5th home run, 3 by Paul DeJong, and we began our night talking about defense.
Go figure. Yeah, right. Offensive output, but that was a pretty good defensive play by Kolten Wong to end that inning.
And he rips that into right field, and the catch is made by Cabrera. Very fine play by Melky Cabrera as Kolten Wong was trying to get on base for the 4th time and have his 3rd double of the night.
This offense is not relenting. We talked about just continuing to try to add on, take quality ABs, because every AB has a life of its own. It doesn't matter if it's against the starter, a reliever, the position player that can throw 93 miles an hour. Every AB counts.
Munoz, the base hit into right field with a position player on the mound. Not to say that he can't have another 1, 2, 3 like he did last inning, but would you have a chance that Paul DeJong would come up one more time in this game?
I would kind of like to see it just a little bit.
With a position player on the mound and a chance at maybe a 4th home run in the game.
Yeah, let's do that.
Munoz with his 3rd hit of the night, and now it's Kisner. He picked up his 1st major league home run back in the 2nd. It's rarity anyway to have 3 home runs in a game. Only the 23rd shortstop in the history of baseball to have a 3 home run night. Corey Seager has done that a couple of times of recent players. Trevor Story, Jose Reyes had one. Kevin Elster, Jose Valentin, Jeff Blauser, Barry Larkin, Ernie Banks did it twice. And now Paul DeJong.
It's a nice list to be on.
And those are the 11 that did it in the National League. And the 0-2, Osuna, double play. A night that he'll never forget. Paul DeJong here in Pittsburgh. 3 home runs in 1 game. connection to the game. The Nationals have been red hot. Strasburg first to 13 wins. Turner hits for the cycle. Robinson Cano 3 home runs in a game. And the Dodgers announced a plan for a $100 million renovation of Dodger Stadium. All-Star game is coming there. T-Mobile connection to the game, and John Brebbia takes over for St. Louis. 2 innings by Mike Myers. 2 runs on 3 hits, no strikeouts, walked 1. And Munoz coming in from left field. He'll take over at shortstop. Tyler O'Neill in left, and DeJong is out. And Brebbia, your new pitcher.
We saw Brebbia in game 1 of the series, 2/3, punched out a couple of guys before giving way to Chasen Shreve in that one. A ball game that got a little bit closer than most expected, but a win nonetheless for the Cardinals. And with an 8-run cushion, I think we're going to see our first non-1-run ball game here at PNC.
And it's in for a strike to Diaz. Then Osuna spot, and Frazier. And that's hit out to deep right field, sending Fowler back near the wall, and with just enough room to make the catch. So Brebbia retires Diaz, 2 for 4 tonight. And it brings in Osuna. Hyundai pitch arsenal.
There it is. It's fastball, it's slider. Can throw them both for strike, can throw for chase. And Brebbia, a guy that he doesn't mess around. He's coming right after you.
Well, this is a time you'd like to see the pitcher hit, right? Who needs a DH?
Right.
You have Osuna.
That guy fields his position pretty well also.
How about that perfect throw to
It was money.
the double play?
Ranges, hops up, gets it, good feed. While a game also that the Pirates would like to forget, Osuna's going to remember.
Catch made by Fowler. And he is 2/3 of the way from setting a record. You make one more catch and have 3 putouts in an inning. I don't know if you knew it. That's happened before.
He'll tie the record.
Right. So the Cardinals with 2 players tonight in their lineup that have made a little history with 3 home runs in a game. Goldschmidt in Milwaukee earlier this year, and now Paul DeJong. Wonder if they were able to get that baseball for him.
I hope so. Same thing with Kisner's home run.
Absolutely. Wong makes the play. Brebbia has a 1-2-3, and that sends us to the 9th. The Cardinals have a 14-6 lead. Ford Championship Mystery Ring coming up on Saturday. Still tickets available. Reunion of the 04 team. Should be a lot of fun starting on Friday night. Ring giveaway Saturday. This is our Chevy call to the pen, and the backup catcher, Jacob Stallings. He's in. Osuna had 2 innings, gave up the home run to DeJong. He's at first base. And where did Moran go? He's at second.
This is more like it.
This has been fun. Ground ball by Tyler O'Neill. And did he beat it out? No. Very close.
By the way, the 14 runs have been fun. I was more so referencing the position player that throws 78 instead of.
That's better for you, huh?
Yeah, it just kind of feels a little better. You know?
Put the chest down a little bit.
That's not that easy, is it? Although outs are outs, you know.
That's right. There's a swing and a miss by Tommy Edman. So Stallings has had a start in this series as the catcher, and now he's pitching as Edman hits a high fly ball into right field. There's Cabrera, and that's out number 2. Budweiser player of the game is Paul DeJong. 3 home runs and a double in a game. Not just the 3 homers, but mixed in a double. What a night. Budweiser player of the game.
Also hit by a pitch, man. It was an awesome night. It's fun to watch history. Fun to see Paul DeJong getting back to where he was at swing-wise early in the season. And even recently, the last couple of games, his outs have been hard. It just looks different. He looks more confident.
Fowler hits it a mile high on the infield. And a 1-2-3. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. It is the first time for the Pirates in their long history of baseball since 1908 that they have used 2 different position players to pitch in a game. Also, the Cardinals, to get you caught up if you just joined us, they've got 14 runs on 15 hits. 11 of which have gone for extra bases, if my numbers are correct. And you know I love my numbers here.
Yeah, you're great.
5 homers, 6 doubles tonight. The 5 home runs, most in a game this year for St. Louis.
You know how many total feet as far as home runs today, or got any of that off the top of your head?
That is up to 3,217 and a half.
I'm not even going to verify it. It sounds correct.
Just play along, right?
Tape measure shots.
Right. 0-2 the count. Brevy in his second inning. And a fastball taken away. Any way you want to add it up, no pun intended, it's been a good night.
It really has. And it's fun to see this ball club be able to keep adding to it. The 9 runs were great. Able to add 4 more, add another one in the 8th.
Taken high by Dickerson. Marte to follow. And then Jung Ho Gun on the air tomorrow, 11 o'clock with the pregame show.
So much talk, Dan, about the trade deadline and every team and how they're going to approach it. And certainly the Cardinals are looking at that as well. But when you look at Keys,
there's a base hit into right center by Dickerson, cut off by Fowler, and quickly back into second. Nice play by Dexter to get it back in quickly.
Was for sure. One of the biggest keys, Dan, for the Cardinals is this offense doing the things that it's supposed to be. If you're going to chase down the Cubbies, and if you're going to win the division, and you're going to go on and compete for a championship, you don't have to put up 14 every night, but these guys have to be threats all the time, and we're starting to see that come around.
There's Starling Marte, a 3-hit night. Pirates 9 hits tonight. Cardinals with 15. They themselves have had a bunch of extra base hits too.
This guy doesn't get cheated very often, does he?
No, and not dealing in a game that's an 8-run deficit. He's going to go for broke, isn't he?
He's taking some big hacks, and that's the thing. You have to be able to get the fastball in on him, but if you miss over the plate, I've seen him deposit a few of those.
1 ball and 1 strike. Runner at second base. And that's ripped. Extra bases. Marte. Run will score. 14-7. Steeler fans can appreciate this score. 14-7.
I think they'd like a little more offense.
Yep. It's a 4-hit night, by the way, for Marte, and he's driven in 3. And that's his 3rd double of the night.
He's got crazy quick hands.
Yes, he does.
Able to pull those in, turns around the best of fastballs.
Crazy quick feet too.
Yeah, good player.
Yep.
Great arm. He's shown that off. Got all the tools.
Back to Breviev, looks back Marte, and there's the out. First out here in the home half of the 9th. The batter is the switch hitting Melky Cabrera. He is walked, and also a single to shallow left that drove in 2. Grounded to second and grounded to first. 1 for 3 with that walk. Are you yawning?
No, I wouldn't yawn.
You cannot yawn in a 14-7 game with the Cardinals leading.
I don't think I yawned at all. Selling me out like that.
We're not in the inner.
Thought we were in the trust room. Are we not? Guy can't open his mouth for more than 2 seconds and then close it. You think he's yawning?
No, sir.
At least I'm not the one that called Adam Wainwright old man today.
No, you did.
That was you.
Nope, no. I
I'm quite
made
sure the listeners.
I made sure and pointed that out right away. Munoz under it.
You said a foul ball would knock some sense into somebody, and that somebody was the manager.
The manager, yeah, I did do that. I'll lay claim to that one.
I will too.
Here's Colin Moran. He's played 3rd, 1st, and 2nd base, and the final hope for the Pirates tonight in this ball game. So the 11 extra base hits for the Cardinals in this game, 7th most ever in a 9-inning affair. The high is 13. That's been done 5 times over the years. And the 0-1.
Mike Schilt has been preaching for a while now. Damage. We have to do damage with our offense. Well, today's game would be the definition of damage.
Yes, it would. Just feel it around this club too. There's a sense of, hey, we're getting going. Yeah, you can sense it when you're in the clubhouse, down on the field, talking to players. That's ripped out to right, and it drops in for a hit. Brevy is saying, oh, come on, Dex, help me out with that one. Hard hit ball, kept it in front, and that makes it 14-8.
Yeah, in that game, you don't want it to get past you, but you're always, everything always looks easier as a pitcher sometimes. It's routine, not so much. That thing's a sinking liner right there. Dex makes a smart play in front of him. Love to have it, but all about making a pitch now.
Kevin Newman 0 for 4 tonight. Pirates now with 11 hits. Off the end of the bat, little squiver. There's Wong, and that's a Cardinal win. And they'll look for a sweep tomorrow. 14-8 the final. 15 hits for the Cardinals. 11 extra base hits. 3 home runs hit by Paul DeJong for the first time in his career. Kisner, his first ever Major League homer. And the Cardinals have another series win.
From an offensive standpoint, everything that you could possibly ask for in this ball game. They want to do some damage. They do some now and head for a sweep tomorrow.
Cardinals send Michaelis to the mound tomorrow. Some smiles, the handshakes, the high fives. Here they come. St. Louis. They're now 54-47. They stay pace and keep it in the Central.